Rue, is that you, Rue? Awesome. Dude, we should do a tier list of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft expansions tier list, so I can explain to you just how dog shit some of these expansions were. Yeah, I think we'll do that first. Oh, not that. Hold on. Hold on. I keep forgetting my display capture for some reason changed. So let's do a tier list real quick so you guys truly understand my explanations on everything, okay? So we're gonna put this as dog shit. Why is it so little? I like hold on. Hold on. Oh no, I'm messing everything up. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Oh no, oh, don't look at me. I'm a professional. Can I like, is this working? No. Okay, hold on. I want you guys to truly understand how bad some of these are. If I'm going to say, have a good night, Herman! Okay. So we have the best expansion. We have God tier. We have it was good. The next one would be fine, I guess. Then we have bad. Then we have dog shit. Okay? So the first expansion in World of Warcraft that wasn't vanilla, because vanilla wasn't an expansion, it was just base game, would be the Burning Crusade. The Burning Crusade, it was good. I wouldn't like everybody loves to rave about the first three. I was in single digits in age when those happened. I did play. I've played since the very beginning. Any World of Warcraft vanilla player, you'll always know they were a vanilla player because they will always tell you they were. Okay? I am one of those people. I was a vanilla player. Dirty, filthy vanilla player. Okay? Do I think I'm better than you? Yes. And that is why, you know? You've been playing a game so long that you become an elitist piece of crap, and that's me, okay? I'll try my best not to be, but that's how it goes, okay? So I think the Burning Crusade was good, but I was also under the age of 6. Or I was 6. I was somewhere around there. So, like, there's only so good you can think it is. You know? So there's only so good you can really think something is. If more your elitism or your elitism attract you to WoW? As an elitist 6-year-old, I can see that. Yeah. So the reason I started playing World of Warcraft is because my dad played World of Warcraft. My parents were divorced, and World of Warcraft is very special to me because that is how I played with my dad. Now, my dad, I had like 13 friends growing up, and my dad was the cool parent. And he bought me and all 13 of my friends every expansion up until I was done with high school, and paid for all of our subscriptions until we were done with high school. So yeah, I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and so did my friends. We dragged over laptops to my house every summer. There was a time when my mom told me that my best friends had to go home and take a shower because we had not showered in 2 weeks. All we did, and that was during the Mist of Pandaria expansion pack. All we did was log on and play World of Warcraft during the summertime, okay? That's all we did. That's all we did. Forever. Okay? I would talk about. Never mind. We'll get to it when we get to the other ones. We'll get to it when we get to the other ones, okay? Okay, so actually, I missed Classic. That's right here. Classic, it was good. Same opinion. How'd you get into Final Fantasy 14? I'll tell you when I get to that expansion pack how I got into Final Fantasy 14, okay? Classic was good. Burning Crusade was good. Here's where I get unpopular, okay? Wrath of the Lich King is fine, I guess. And here's the reason for it, okay? One, I was little. And the thing I liked most about World of Warcraft is how pretty everything was, okay? Everything was bright and colorful and nice. You know, everything had big, bright flames and colors. Wrath of the Lich King, awful. It was an ice frozen zone of gray, poop color brown, and green. Burn her. Hey! Hey! You watch yourself when you're talking to Big Daddy. Everything was shades of gray and brown. I hated Wrath. I really did. No. Wrath was bad. I didn't like Wrath. Everybody else likes Wrath, which is why I don't dog shit on it. But I gotta be honest, I hated Wrath. Wrath was bad. Wrath, there was nothing for little young lad for me to enjoy. And Boron Tundra, it was one small zone. Yeah, actually, you know the thing about Wrath that was good and that kind of made it worth it? Dalaran. I changed my mind. Wrath was fine, I guess. Also, Wrath had good lore. I changed my mind again. Dalaran made it worth it. Dalaran is the best city in World of Warcraft. It is the best city in World of Warcraft. It is God tier. I love Dalaran. Also, Wrath has some of the better spirit beasts, despite them being on a timer, which I low-key love, because I love when things are horrible, I guess. I'm older than you, so I wasn't a little kid when Wrath was current and still thought it was meh. I like Dalaran. Dalaran needs to come back for the 5th millionth time, okay? I love Dalaran. It was good mechanically, but it was sloggy. I didn't like how boring the colors were, but that's how I felt about it. Alright, the next one was Kata. I did not enjoy Kata. I didn't like Cataclysm. One of the main places I liked to be was the Stormwind Park, and Deathwing came and fire blazed it through his asshole and took a giant shit on the Stormwind capital. I loved the park. I was on Moonguard. I liked to roleplay. I had the Griffin Heart items, and then Deathwing came and took a giant shit on the park, and that was gone. So yeah, I was not happy with that. I didn't like it. I was still too young to raid, so I was like bored. I also didn't like how it was only 5 levels. At the time when it came out, there was only 5 levels that you could do. Is what it is. Okay? Did not care for Kata. The next one that came out was Mista Pandaria. Mista Pandaria is God tier. Wait, how old were you when you were role playing? All my life. All of my life. I've role played my entire life. I wasn't like ERPing. In fact, I did own my own ERP guild when I was 13. And I was a pimp, and people would bring me gold in Elwyn's Forest. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. I know it's unpopular. That's what I did though. Okay? I had this app called Kick, and adult men would ask me what girls to talk to on World of Warcraft, and there was a bunch of grown men that liked to role play as girls, and I would coordinate them to talk. Okay. I'm not proud of it. It's just what happened. I'm not gonna hide it. My dad made me stop kick whenever I gave them my address and they started sending me presents. So yeah. How old were you when you were doing this? Under 12. Yeah. Guys, I'm just telling you what happened. I'm not telling you it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what happened, okay? The internet in 2010s era was unchecked by adults, okay? It wasn't checked. Let's be real. The address part, I was under 10. I was under 12. I was little. Okay? I was single digits. Okay? Leave me alone. Every emo alternative YouTuber is reachable on Kick. Kind of weird now to think, right? Right? I had little emojis. I don't want to talk about how much money. My dad let me have his credit card when I was a little kid. And how much money I spent on World of Warcraft and an app game called Campus Life, okay? Brings up the crazy shit in regard to childhood wild playtime. Yeah. Sorry. I used to, never mind. We'll get to that when we get to the expansion, okay? We'll get to that. Okay, there's gonna be some admitting to stuff tonight. I'm gonna change my stream title. Hold on. Content classifications. Hold on. Sensitive content. 18 plus. Check. Okay. I just changed my World of Warcraft stream to 18 plus because I'm gonna admit some stuff I probably shouldn't later. Okay. Someone wonder how different life would be if I hadn't bricked my family computer loading 400 cheats in Project 64. Dude, no, same, because I played a game called Foo Pets and bad. And I had all of my friends download a whole bunch of viruses on their computers. Awful. Squeakle on bald vanilla paladin. What? Okay, alright. Mr. Pandaria. One of my favorite expansion packs. It was the first expansion that I reached the highest level by myself on my main character, who was my main all through Legion. I was a paladin, and it's when I made my character Wendell. Wendell is my favorite character of all time, though, because he was my pimp character. This was the expansion pack that I really started playing a lot. Oh. Zoe! Sorry, my dog's knocking over trash cans. Leave it alone. Daisy, don't panic. It's okay. It's alright. Don't stress out. So it's the first expansion I actually did some raiding. It's when LFR came out, which meant anybody could raid. So big fan of Mr. Pandaria. I had a lot of fun there. Me and my friends played. This was the summer that me and all of my friends played constantly throughout the entire summer. My family took us on a road trip, and I don't remember anything about that road trip except for finally getting to level 90. That's all we did. All we did was play World of Warcraft. I didn't have like TeamSpeak or anything, so for my friends, we were on like home phones on speakerphone, and that's how we played World of Warcraft whenever I was not around. It was pretty great. My longest phone call that cost my family thousands of dollars was a 16-hour World of Warcraft night. Yeah, okay. Anyways, Daisy who would put the panda into dog shit. That person's incorrect. You okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? Baby? Uh-oh. Hold on. I gotta take my dog outside. I'm gonna let you guys play the claw game while I do that. My dog's been sick lately, so I'm trying to pay a little more attention because she was choking on the bone and stuff. I'm gonna let you guys play the claw game. I'll be right back. We'll finish the tier list and then we'll dive into WoW. I know I've been all over the place tonight. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyways, I'll be right back. Should I give up or should I just keep chasing babies? Even it's years away. Yeah. Should I give up or should I just keep facing payments? Ooh. Hi, Kai. Are you gonna come join my World of Warcraft guild? Are you gonna join my World of Warcraft guild? What do you think? I don't even have that. That's okay. You can get it. That's okay. You can buy it. What are you talking about? Alright. So this is the time where I start making my guild. I have a guild with all of my friends. And we start Never mind. Okay, next one. This is when things start to take. This is probably peak World of Warcraft for me. Is Mist of Pandaria, Draenarm, and Legion. This is an unpopular opinion, but Warlords of Draenor is god tier, and everybody who hates it is a loser and on my list. Okay? Warlords of Draenor had a really cool garrison feature. Unfortunately, people were really unhappy with it because it was pretty much WoW housing, how they described it, and then they gave us a garrison. Well, thank you so much for gifting us the ox. I really appreciate it. What little content Draenor had was peak. Hey, Draenor questing was peak. It was 100% the best questing World of Warcraft has had. It had a great storyline. It had fun zones. Everything was super fun. It had... I loved Ashran with my whole heart. I would spend hours every day in Ashran just killing people for the love of the game. Like sport. It was so much fun. PvP was the best it's ever been in that case just because I was a menace and I loved it. However, the raids were dull, the raids were boring, and the actual in-game content besides PvP was not very good, which is why everybody didn't like Draenor. The questing was really good though. It was super good. I think it's god tier. I had some of the most fun I've ever had on World of Warcraft in Draenor. So I think very highly of it. Then there was Legion. Legion is by far the best expansion in World of Warcraft. It was the most fun. The class quests were amazing. The zones were amazing. The PvP was amazing. The random dog shit RNG for for legendary weapons and gear, hilarious. It was amazing. I remember watching people rage and chat about it because I would like loot a random legendary. It was dog shit. It was total dog shit. I loved it. I really like when things are random and dog shitty, which is part of my love for World of Warcraft. Daisy May, what are you doing? I just gave Daisy her medicine, so hopefully she stops yakking in a few. I loved all the raids in Legion. I thought they were super fun. The problem is, Legion is also where I quit World of Warcraft for the first time. Legion was too long. It was too long. Argus was dumb. But yeah, I quit during the Cursed Ashran. The Cursed Ashran questline when I had to fish for 5 billion hours. Argus was so fun. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Argus was dog shit. But I quit and joined Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14, as much as I hate it, is the only reason I'm a VTuber today. Argus was peak Legion. You're wrong. Horrible. Everything else was really good in Legion, but Argus was dog shit. I hated it. And between hating Argus and the dog shit dailies and how they wanted me to drop like 500,000 gold on a stupid mount that didn't even look good, I just had a lot of feelings about Argus. Final Fantasy 14, I have a lot of good memories of being low-key horrible on it. And I had fun. And also Final Fantasy 14 is how I paid my way through college. I would flip housing. If you hate the housing system in Final Fantasy 14, that was because of me. I'm sorry about it. I won't apologize more on that, though. I'm just going to say sorry, because it was my fault. I was one of the top sellers in all of Eorzea. So, I'm so sorry. If you never got a medium or a large house, that was me. That was my fault. I was on 16 different servers, flipping houses, and paying for college through real money trade on Reddit. So yeah. Yeah. My bad. Sorry, I was trying to pay through college. My girlfriend is a real estate tycoon. Oh, see, probably one of my friends then. Probably one of my friends back when. It was great. Raging about housing during those times. Oh yeah, that was my fault. My fault. I'm the reason they did the timed drops. Because nobody could, if you were on Fairy, if you were on Cactar, if you were on Balmung, if you were on Mateus, those four specifically were my fault, 100%. I had a monopoly, so, sorry. But my bad, that's all I'll say. But then I started playing Final Fantasy 14. The next expansion was Battle for Azeroth. I tried to rejoin World of Warcraft. It was dog shit. I literally hated Battle for Azeroth. They had one super cool zone, which was like this spooky forest zone with like murder children, and that was super cool. The rest of it, I just hated. I thought all of it was dumb and stupid and bad. I did not like it. My VTuber stopped working. Well, my VTuber studio crashed. My VTuber studio crashed. Rats. But yeah, did not like it. It did not bring me back to World of Warcraft. I hated what they did with Jada's character. It was super disappointing. I tried the raids. They were just not fun. I didn't enjoy any of it. I loved the theme behind, like, the pirates. The Kul Tiran was just the worst race I've ever seen in my life. What the fuck? Like, here. Now you can be a big human. Congrats. Just dog shit. Just absolute dog shit right out the gate. Didn't make any fucking sense. Didn't make it like a changing your size thing. They just made big humans. It was dumb. Alright. This one is a pretty... Everybody seemed to like this one. It's, God, what is it called? Not Dragonflight. I don't even know what the expansion's called because I didn't like it so much. I got so motion sick. Yeah, that one was Dragonflight. Was it Dragonflight? I guess it was. Okay. I hated Dragonflight. They forced you to do their riding mechanics. I got incredibly motion sick. I get horribly motion sick with anything that moves. Even the motion sickness helper, I couldn't even play it. I really couldn't. Like, I'm not even trying to be an asshole about it because I love World of Warcraft. I dead ass couldn't play Dragonflight. They did fix dragon riding like last expansion in Shadowlands, which is great, I guess. I still don't enjoy it because they killed it in Dragonflight for me. I just couldn't do it. It made me sick. And then their answer to the people who were motion sick were just deal with it. And I thought that was dog shit too. Started the Sylvanas character's ass. Oh god. Sylvanas is tragedy. It's tragic. Been playing Dragonflight a lot since my return. I can see why Dragonflight is fun for people that don't get motion sick. I really can, but as someone who gets horribly motion sick, it just wasn't an option for me. It really wasn't. The next expansion was Shadowlands. Is this Shadowlands or is this Shadowlands? This is Shadowlands. Shadowlands was before Dragonflight, but yeah. Oh, my bad. I really didn't play very much of either of these. Shadowlands was boring. That's all I have to say about it. Somebody who loves World of Warcraft, I just was bored. I was bored. I really liked the idea of them having all the different factions. I thought that was cool. I liked Ravendreth, the little vampire place. I thought that was sick. But I just, honestly, the more I played it, the more I just wished it was over, and I wasn't enjoying it. I only maxed out one character in both Shadowlands and Dragonflight, and then I stopped playing and kept playing Final Fantasy XIV, and then I became a VTuber. Tragic expose of my life, you know? It was the downfall. Somehow Shadowlands top BFA levels of disappointment. It was the lowest player base had ever crossed the 20 years of the game. Because it was boring. It was boring. It felt like AI wrote it. And AI wasn't really writing stuff back then. It was bad. I still don't really understand. The jailer was the bad guy. And I still don't understand what was going on during all that. Like, as somebody who used to love World of Warcraft lore, past Legion was just not good. Alright. And then last, the one that just ended, the last expansion before midnight, which just dropped for pre-orders not too long ago. The last expansion was the War Within. I thought the War Within was good. It was good. There left a lot to be desired, but it felt like this was when WoW was coming back. Like, this feels like War Within felt like they were trying to make a comeback in the best way possible. The Goblin area was cool as hell. I loved it. I spent so many hours in the Goblin area. I loved it. I fucking loved the Goblin area. 10 out of 10. I also just had fun. I thought the zones were a little dull. I hate the Stone Dwarfs area. That was boring. But I felt like after you quested and you got through enough of the story, I felt like the in-game content for A War Within was really good. Quit before that one launched. It's good to hear. Glad it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Also, they just dropped housing in World of Warcraft. Their housing in World of Warcraft, I never thought I would say this. It sweeps Final Fantasy housing. I had so low expectations of housing in World of Warcraft, guys. I had no hopes for it. I didn't think the last time they tried to introduce housing, we got garrisons. So my expectation of housing was already on the floor. They could have literally given us like a scratch and sniff housing where you got to like edit the bed but like didn't get to move it, and I would have been okay with that because that's how low my expectations were for housing. I like the garrison. I like the garrison too. It's just not what they promised us. That was the real big problem with the garrison from the start. Is the garrison system was fun. I enjoyed it, but it's not what they told us it was going to be before launch. They promised housing. for the garrison stuff, which is why a lot of people were not happy with garrisons, because it's not what they told us they were gonna do. That is the biggest issue with garrisons. I like the garrison. Just when you tell a bunch of nerds and role players that they're gonna have player housing, and then you give them a garrison, that's why they're not happy, you know? That's why people didn't like it. Because, like, why would you promise housing and not deliver housing? That's all I'm saying.